This is TWiT.
Let's say hello to Jose in Ontario. Hello, Jose.
Hi, Leo. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thank you. Love your show.
Thanks for listening. I appreciate it.
And my concern is with my laptop. I just want to make sure that I'm secure and nobody is snooping in. So what do you suggest?
And you're talking about when you use it in a coffee shop or a hotel or somewhere where there's Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi. Is that what you're talking about?
Right. Yeah. Here at home, I guess I'm secure.
Well, the first thing I would do with any laptop, really I do it with anything, is turn on the encryption built into the laptop. On Mac, it's called File Vault. On Windows, it's called BitLocker. If you don't have, if you have Windows Home and you don't have BitLocker, sometimes the hard drive will have its own encryption. And the purpose of that is if you lose the laptop. So if you lose the laptop and the person can't log in, they can't use it, but then maybe they take the drive out and access it, and this prevents them from doing that. So hard drive encryption is very important. It doesn't help you, though, in that coffee shop scenario, because once you're logged in, the contents of obviously, or you wouldn't be able to use it, the contents of the hard drive is decrypted, and you can access it, and so could a bad guy. So you're right. You kind of want to secure your laptop. People talk about using a VPN, a virtual private network. That has some benefit because a VPN, you're connecting to a server somewhere out there. Usually, it could be at your house, but it more often is a company that provides VPN service. You're connecting to them, and everything you do between your laptop and their computers is encrypted. And then, of course, from their computers, it has to go out into the outside world normally. But that means anybody who's sniffing the traffic, sniffing the Wi-Fi going through the air, can't see what you're doing. That's true, though. Nowadays, when almost all websites are encrypted, if you use Facebook or Google, if you're buying something on Amazon, if you're visiting your bank, they're encrypted anyway. So all a bad guy could see is that you're on Amazon. He couldn't see what you're doing. There are other threats, though. I don't want to scare people, but there are other threats that you can encounter. Let's say you're in a coffee shop, you're sitting there, and there is a bad guy, and this is not your run-of-the-mill bad guy. This has to be a somewhat skilled bad guy, but he's sitting there, and most of the time, by the way, these guys are doing it for fun, not profit, but let's say he's sitting there, and he's got a device. There are many, but there's one that's widely available, inexpensive, easily purchased, called a Wi-Fi pineapple. He's got this Wi-Fi pineapple, and among other things, even if you're on a VPN, even if you're encrypted, visiting Amazon or Google or Facebook, he can see your laptop, and he can sometimes do things like, this is really creepy, figure out what your normally visited access points are, like your home or your office, and then impersonate it from the pineapple. Your laptop goes, oh, we're home, and joins it, and now he's done something called a man in the middle. He is in the middle of your conversation with the outside world. That's a little risky. So ideally what you would use is not just a VPN, but also a router, a device that's not, see, when you're on, what you'd like to do, this is really going the extra mile, but what you'd like to do is turn off Wi-Fi on your laptop, connect your laptop via an Ethernet cable to a router, and have the router be in the outside world. The router's dumb. It can't share any information about you, including what kind of operating system you're running or anything.
Okay.
So that, if you really want security, that's the way I'd go. And I always recommend a company called Tiny Hardware Firewall. And they make hardware routers for this purpose. They include with it, they bundle with it VPN service and Tor service, which anonymizes you. And those devices, they're $30, $40, $50. You own that, and then you pay for the VPN service. Really are the best way. Tiny Hardware Firewall. And this is one of them. I'll show you. This is their most, they sent me this the other day. This is their most recent one. This is on the front page of Tiny Hardware Firewall. They call this the Kadesh KDES. They have strange names, THF. So what this is a router. It actually looks like a router. It's powered via USB, so you could actually power it from your laptop if you wanted to. Plug it into the USB port. It has 3 Ethernet ports, but it also has 2 Wi-Fi radios in it. And so what you do is you power this up, you connect to it. It's got a little web server in there, lets you connect to it, and you join the Wi-Fi network at the Starbucks or wherever you are. And that includes these tricky little things they do called captive portals, the login screens you see that you have to either pay money or just sign in and say, I agree to abide by your terms of service, that kind of thing. Those are called captive portals. This will handle that. This signs in. This is what's signed in. And then it's connected via, best way to connect via Ethernet, but you could do it via Wi-Fi as well, connects to this. And so this becomes a barrier to the outside world. It also, you don't have to use VPN. In fact, probably this is sufficient. But if you wanted to get extra security, you can turn on VPN. If you want to get anonymization, if you want privacy, or you want to appear to be coming from somewhere outside the U.S., you can use Tor on this as well. Both of those are built in, and so when you buy the hardware, you get the service. You also have to buy the VPN service from them. They have other packages. I carry these around. They have other devices you'll see on the website, including one that's let's see if I can find it here. One that's just a USB, looks like a thumb drive. This is a little more compact. People like this maybe a little bit better. It's called a micro router. You just put that in, and it does the same thing. You join the Wi-Fi, and then it goes into your computer hardwired. So you can, in effect, turn off Wi-Fi on your computer, which is the best thing to do, frankly. If Wi-Fi is not on your computer, you're pretty good. You're pretty good. So these are inexpensive hardware devices. This one, I think, they call this the Boudica. I think it's $30, and then their VPN service is about $90 a year.
Okay.
So if you really like, the NSA should require everybody use this. Actually, they shouldn't let anything out of the house, but since they do, they should require this. So this is really hardcore. This would protect you against a lot of malicious bad guys, even very sophisticated attackers. Most of the time, that's not necessary. Honestly, a lot of the time, I just trust that I'm using encrypted websites, HTTPS websites, and presume that there's not somebody sitting there with a Wi-Fi pineapple attacking me. I think that's fairly safe. But if you really say, no, I want to lock it down, encrypt your laptop and buy one of these devices.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for the question.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Take care.
Bye now.
Bye.